All right, good afternoon again. Welcome to DuePoint. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in around the country on our live stream. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. We're going to be spending the next 45 minutes together. I'm going to go through what this business does and who we are. And then after the presentation, you're welcome to come ask me any questions or speak to some of the staff that's assisting us here in reception. Okay, so like I said, you're at DuePoint. This is our head office. We're actually a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited, and they are a registered insurance company in South Africa. That's their building in the background. They're actually based just down the road from us in Randburg. That's their little orange logo. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. That's very important. You'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got all our FSP licensing on display for you, all those framed certificates that you see on the wall. We've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, we've got our FSP license, and we've also got our accreditation with the Direct Selling Association as well as the Direct Marketing Association. So it's very important for us, for our guests here this afternoon, to start building some form of trust with a business that we're going to be looking at. It's very important to us. Credibility is something that we take very seriously. We're obviously regulated by the Financial Services Board, which should be a big tick in your book, because as an industry, anyone that's regulated by the Financial Services Board, you can believe is pretty onerously looked at from a very important institution. These are the individuals. This is the executive and the leader, the management team at DuePoint. The three individuals on the far left are all registered chartered accountants. Sounds very fancy, I know. Brendan, who acts as an usher during these presentations. He's our senior executive. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance. His family's been involved in insurance his entire life. His father's a professor of insurance, taught at Wits for 25 years, has been in insurance for 50 years. Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps. They founded a business together called Prime Meridian Direct, PMD, amongst a host of other businesses, financial institutions around the world that their fathers founded and has been very successful at. Tim comes to us from the First Rand Group, so he's got a background in corporate banking, and he was quite senior there. He reported directly to the board of executives and the CEO, and he heads up a lot of our auditing, our financial and accounting aspects here at DuePoint. Stacey supports him in that role, and she's got a lot of experience in auditing. She's worked with Deloitte for a number of years, both locally and abroad. And then the two non-accountants. Here's Jane. Jane's also here in reception this afternoon. She's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, primarily in Europe, and she's been in South Africa for about 10 years, and her experience is fundamental to this business because as an insurance company, we've decided to employ referral marketing or network marketing, or whatever you want to call it, as a way to grow this business. So her experience is very important to us. And then myself, I worked in marketing and advertising for a majority of my working career. I started a digital agency at a very young age. I think I was in my early 20s. It was the mid-90s when the internet was booming, and I got involved in the digital space as a digital agency, and I ran that business for about almost 20 years before I decided to exit that company and join the team here at DuePoint. So these are the individuals you're going to be dealing with, right? These are the people I'm proposing that you partner with. Our mandate in the business is to support the people that join our business because it's in our interest. As a company, as a division, we can only be successful if the people that join our business are successful, which is you guys, our wealth engineers. So it's in our interest to partner with you and support you to see you as effective as possible in this business endeavor. Okay, so these two aspects, credibility and trusting the people that you're going to be working with and having common ground, common interest with the people you're going to be working with is very important when you look at collaborating in any partnership. Okay. So why are you here today, this afternoon, lunch? I'm sure we could be enjoying lunch somewhere else, not listening to this guy up on the stage. So I'm always interested in the behavior that drives you to come see this. I assume the person that invited you to this presentation said to you, are you interested in making more money? They might have been as blunt as that. Do you want to make more money? Right? They might have said to you, oh, are you interested in an entrepreneurial adventure? Maybe they were a little more eloquent, right? But either way, you were interested to come sit in a presentation during lunchtime and listen to some stranger on the stage telling you about a business. And I'm always interested to understand what drives that behavior. Why are we interested in some entrepreneurial kind of proposition that is going to require time, right? It's going to require spare time. It's not going to happen on its own. And we look at a couple of factors around this. So one's the economy. The economy, we don't have to go into too much depth. It's in an absolute dismal state at the moment. It's doing nothing for the country as a whole. It plays out in very negative ways at the moment for us. Things like unemployment. We've got 9 million people unemployed. 50% of the workforce is sitting at home doing nothing right now, willing and able to work, and that's quite depressing. To exacerbate that issue, we've got about, I think, 800,000 matriculants that come out of school every year into a workplace that's got no jobs to offer. So we've got this issue that's growing and growing. It plays out in businesses trying to survive instead of thriving in the current economy. And that plays out directly in our lives in the form of unemployment, but also the potential of being retrenched, right? Or forced into early retirement. We see interest rates going up. That exacerbates our problem even more, because when interest rates go up, it means our debt becomes more expensive to pay. Okay? And I assume everyone here has got some form of debt. Whether you've got a clothing account, or a Woolworths account, or an Edgar's account, or a credit card, or a home loan, or a car loan, pretty much the entire working population, and even the people that aren't working, have got some form of debt in their lives. And then we kind of look at this thing called debt, this 4-letter word. It's a phenomenon that we're exposed to at a very early age. Typically only when you start earning a salary are you offered debt instruments, unless you're my dad. My dad used to take tax whenever I asked him to peel an orange for me or help me with anything. He would always say, I need tax, and just take half my orange, or bite into the apple, or eat half my ice cream. So I was exposed to this at an early age. But typically we're only exposed to these financial products when you start earning a salary, right? Because companies like financial service providers, they see you as a wonderfully potential client when they know you're earning a salary. Because if they know that they can depend on you earning a salary, they know they can debit you every month, hopefully successfully. Okay? And there's a number of products they offer us. Not only debt instruments, they offer us investments and savings products, but the majority of South Africans will engage in debt at a very early age and only start looking at investment products later in life. And I think this is because maybe, and this is just me surmising, but maybe in your 20s you don't really worry about retirement and things like that, right? You're having too much fun. You want a nice car, you want nice clothes, you want during your 20s, and then maybe this accountability starts falling on your lap. Suddenly you start becoming responsible for other little people, these little financial burdens running around your house, and you've got a family you've got to look after, and maybe only in your 30s and 40s do you start to realize, well, geez, I need to start worrying about retirement. Unfortunately, when you start taking on debt and you're exposed to an economic environment like we're all in, it becomes very hard to break out of the cycle of debt during your maybe late 20s, 30s, and 40s. And we see the majority of South Africans only really start investing and saving when they're in their 50s, right? That's the stats we get from the FSB. Average South African only starts investing in their 50s, which is far too late. So take a look at the data up on this slide. This was published on the Fin24 website, September last year. And what the whole article was about was the increase in the mortality rate, right? The life expectancy of people's increasing every year because of medicine, advances in medical technology, healthcare services, and all that. So people born today are probably going to live past 100. Although the current mortality rate now, people are dying, or women at least, are dying at an average age of 74. Right? But we all look alive and kicking here in the room, so we're probably going to outlast the current mortality rate. And this article was predicated on that. It said, well, if people are living longer on average, should our retirement planning not adjust too, right? Because retirement planning is about creating an investment for yourself so that by the time you retire, it can pay you out when you aren't employed. So they're saying, well, in the old days, people were dying at the average age of 74. So you only needed to save enough to last you 15 years on average. But if I tell you now our mortality rate in the room on average is probably 90, it means you have to have enough saved and invested to last you for 30 years. That's twice as much as what they were doing in the 70s and the 60s, right? So that's what the article was based on. So look at the three figures at the top. The three figures at the top illustrate the amount of money an investment would pay you out Okay? So I would assume, save enough money, retire at 60, 65, and that amount of money would then pay you out that figure for the next 30 years. Right? So you retire at 60, you've got R1,000,000 saved. You've invested R1,000,000, it's going to pay you out 5,000 Rand a month. Anyone happy to live on 5,000 Rand a month when they retire? Is that possible even? I read an article on nutrition and food in South Africa, the food problem that we have. I heard some horrible statistic last week that said, on average, I think it was 10 to 20 children are dying a day in South Africa because of malnutrition. Children starving in our country, right? And no one seems to know about this issue. And they say the average household of 4 needs 7,000 Rand a month just to put food on the table. 7,000 Rand a month. How are you going to survive on that? Okay, so we certainly don't look, that's not a great example. Look at the next example, 26,000 Rand a month sounds a lot better, a lot more dignified, but look at the amount of money you need to have saved. Anyone on track to saving 5 million Rand in cash? No one, right? Along with that statistic of the average person only starts saving in their 50s, along with that statistic, only 2% of South Africans are retiring financially independent. 2 people, or 2%. 2% of people are retiring financially independent. That's maybe one person in the room. Don't put your hand up because everyone will ask you for money after the presentation. Right? So that's another horrible statistic. So this is never a proposed solution. You know, if you want to engage in responsible retirement planning, you need to do it at a fairly early age. You know, and majority of us, well, at least me, through my 20s, retirement was the last thing I was thinking about, right? The last thing. But if you do think about it and you're in that position, you certainly have a head start on the majority of us. So if you're 20 to 25, you can start engaging in saving. So this example here illustrates R1,000,000 Rand. It says you only need to save 800 Rand a month for the next 40 years. So from the age of 20 to 60, you're saving 800 Rand a month, and that contribution needs to increase in line with inflation every year. So every year, this contribution has to increase currently by 7%, right? But no one wants that figure. We like this figure. This sounds much better. You need to save 4,000 Rand a month for 40 years. Anyone doing it? No one does it. No one does it, you know. And I don't really want to get into it, but when we create this debt cycle for ourselves, we only escape it once we've paid our debt off. Once you've paid your house off, once you realize you need to stop buying cars, once those little financial burdens are out your house, and hopefully through university, and you're not having to provide for them, it's usually around your 50s. It's when you're in your 50s, and suddenly you've got this expendable money that you have that you never had before, and now in a panic you start to save and put money away in investments and savings. So out of all of this negativity, as an enterprise, as a business, we saw an opportunity to create a platform or a system that allows the average South African to break out of the cycle. Okay, and I'll show you. The whole presentation is really about the opportunity of breaking out of the cycle. We've got 3 aspirations for the people that join this business. Number 1 is to see you become debt-free as quickly as possible. Not when you're 50-something. Sooner than that, you know. And if you are 50 or 60, you can certainly change your circumstance very quickly in the system. Our second aspiration is to see you start investing into a true investment, to contribute money into a proper investment that you can look forward to over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, or even 30 years. And then the third aspiration is just to see everyone happier, right? We all got paid. Has everyone been paid this month? Have the debit orders gone off yet? The bank balance went up for a split second, right? Because the banks know when you get paid, and then the debit orders come off, and we're in the cycle. We find ourselves in this monthly cycle, okay? So our third aspiration, when you meet the first 2, when you become debt-free and you're creating value in an investment that you can look forward to, you're going to be less stressed. For the first time, you're going to be financially free. You're going to be able to dictate what you do with the money that you're earning every month, okay? So those are the 3 goals. How does the system work? Our guests here have the option of joining DuePoint. You get to contract with us. And when you contract with us, we only expect you to do one thing, and that's to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. Okay, business term. And I'll explain what one of those are. And through these channels of distribution that you build, DuePoint will attempt to place products with the people that you introduce to us. And this is basically how this entire business works. It's as simple as this. The benefit to you is that you get to create an additional income stream. This is obvious, right? This is the only reason you're sitting here. Tell me about the additional income stream. It's the only way you're going to pay your debt off any sooner. Begging for a 7-8% increase in your salary once a year is not going to break you out the cycle, right? So you need to create a significant additional income stream. The nature of a business is recurring income. This means that this channel of distribution, which is really an asset that you get to build, pays you recurring income. It doesn't pay you once off. The channel of distribution that you build in month 1 can potentially pay you in month 2, 3, 4. It can keep paying you. Okay? This is the beauty of this business. The power of duplication, you get to harness this. This is leverage. You get to leverage your time in this business and your effort in this business. Effort translates into recurring income, but your time is limited, right? This is something that we're looking at doing on the side. I've already got a job, but I'm looking for something that's going to break me out of the cycle, and so I've got limited time, but with this limited time, we've designed the system that allows you to leverage that time. So even though you might have 1 hour a day to spend at DuePoint, if you've got a team of people, 10 other people doing the same thing, suddenly you've got 10, 11 hours being invested into your asset to increase your recurring income. Okay? It's flexi time. But it's not something that you do in your spare time, because I know majority of us don't have spare time. You have to make space for this business in your schedule. If you want to be successful in this business, I'm telling you right now, you need to make space for this. You need to decide, am I doing this on Saturdays and Sundays, or just Saturdays, or Tuesday and Thursday evenings? You have to commit it into your schedule. It's not like a New Year's resolution where you decide, I'm going to start gym this year. And then you go when you feel like it. Right? You can do that. We've got wealth engineers that do that. They adopt that attitude, but they'll never be successful. And I want to see you successful in this endeavor. Right? There's no startup capital. There's no joining or registration fees in this business. It's a very low-risk endeavor. There's no qualifications or experience required. We work in financial services. There is a plethora of obligation from a regulatory point of view in this business, which personally I find to be exhausting. We contract you out of all of that. You don't have to worry about any of that, right? So it's a great benefit because you get to enjoy the benefits of what a business like this offers without that obligation. You get to build an asset. This is another important point, right? This is an asset that you own. This channel of distribution, it's in your name. You can sell it, you can give it to your kids, you can seed it to your beneficiaries if something happened to you. It's important because it flies in the face of normal employment. Why? Because we will, in employment, spend our lives working for somebody else. Right? 40, 45 years, you're going to be working for somebody else. Do you have shares in that business? Do you get a dividend check when they do well? Are you part of the bonus structure? Do you have any say in the business? No, 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 and no for most of us. Yet we'll spend a lifetime working for this other company. In this business, you have ownership over this asset you're building, right? Because if you're spending your free time, your spare time, if you're sacrificing time in this, at least have ownership over the time you're investing into it. There's no selling required. I bet you when the person came up to you and said, are you interested in a business opportunity? Do you want to make more money? You said, what's the product? What are we selling? Right? That's the natural tendency. There's no selling involved in this business. We actually contract you out of selling. Okay? And I'll touch on that a little later. The nature of our products, because they're financial products, they're intangible products. Why is that a benefit? Because you don't need to bring your uncle's bucky here to load up stock to do this business. Right? You don't have to worry about where you're going to put all the stock at home. What happens if you become one of the top performers in this business? Then you've got to buy 10 times more stock than everyone else is because you're a superstar salesperson. You've got to order the stock. You've got to worry about whether there's quantities, how you're going to do distribution. You don't have to worry about any of that. Any of that. So we make this business as convenient and as simple as possible to get involved with for the people interested. So what are these channels of distribution? Because this business is really predicated on that, right? On your success in your ability to build channels of distribution. And there's no selling involved. All you're going to do is you're going to go out and you're going to tell people about the business opportunity. That's what people are interested in. They are interested in the opportunity of an additional income stream. And that's what you're going to tell them about. And if you're successful in that, you're able to bring them here or get them to tune into a live stream. And we're able to place a product with them. That is you building a channel of distribution. The leverage comes into play when those people that you introduce to the business go out and do the same thing. They go out and tell other people. This is what referral marketing is all about, right? This is how Facebook is successful. If you do any advertising on Facebook, it is completely dependent on a network that exists around your social circle, okay? It's been around for 100 years, I promise. This is not a new concept, by the way. So when you have this leverage and your business or your channel of distribution is able to grow organically, now suddenly you have a channel that's got greater value with time, right? So next month there could be a few more dots and you're being paid a recurring income for every person that comes into this business. So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. This is what we're going to be focusing on. This is my warning slide. I'm going to go over this very briefly. If you arrived here this afternoon thinking, oh, it's one of these get-rich-quick schemes. I've been to these presentations. I'll excuse you for making that mistake the first time. Okay, this is nearly a 70-year-old company that's listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. We are regulated by the FSB. We are nothing like one of those get-rich-quick schemes. Nothing like it. So take that objection out of your head immediately. The other thing I want to address is that you might, in the past, some people might have said to you, oh, come join this business. It's easy. It's easy. I'm going to not tell you that. I'm going to tell you this business is difficult. You can join. Joining is easy, but being successful is not easy. Any aspect of your life to be successful at it is not easy. Doesn't matter what anyone says. Anyone say to you, oh, get married. Marriage is easy. They're lying to you, right? Get involved in this business. This business is easy. You just put money here and next week we'll give you 50% more. Easy. Lying. Again, to you. I'm not going to lie to you. This business is difficult like any other business. But we've got very experienced individuals in this business. We know how to be successful in business. And you have the opportunity to partner with people like us, with a reputable company, to try change your own situation. Okay, my warning slide. Let's talk about the returns. The returns is what we pay our wealth engineers every single month based on how many people you have in your channel. So we pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel of distribution, okay? The first people that you bring into the business, the people that you bring personally into this business lie on your first point. They are 1 point away from you, and we actually pay you double the R27.50 for product that lies on your first point. And we do on the same on the second point. So these are friends of friends, right? Again, point 2, we pay you R55 for every product, and remember, it's recurring income. It's not once off. We're going to pay you every single month in a recurring fashion for all the products there. To the third point, to the fourth point, all the way down to the 8th point, you'll see the multiplier starts to drop as the products get further away from you. Okay? But what's important to note is from the 8th point into infinity, in theory, we will keep paying you the 4%. We don't limit you on how big your channel can get at DuePoint, and we don't limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. Okay? Again, accountability lies with you. So this is the mechanics of the returns. I think it's fairly straightforward to understand. The next natural question to get is, well, how much money can I earn in time? Like if I do commit to this business, what can I expect to earn after a few months or after a few years? So what we did was we built this thing called the Path to Success. The accountants had a chance to get a little creative, and they built up this formula. It's based on a growth formula that we call 3 + 2. It assumes that when you join this business, you're able to bring 3 people into the business successfully, and every consecutive month you bring in another 2 people, right? And this is going to happen into perpetuity. So you join, let's call it the 1st of June today. You join in June, you're able to bring 3 people in June, and then in July you bring another 2. August, another 2. September, another 2. We call it the 3 + 2 growth model, 3 + 2 + 2 + 2 + 2. If you can do that, you can expect these kind of numbers. So after 6 months, you could be earning R2,500 a month. Too much for you? Too little for you? 2,500 rand enough? Huh? No, not. Okay, let me give you some context to the value of money. Because what happens is that we actually lose the ability to understand the value of money because we see it primarily from a debt point of view. Okay, but I want to take it a step further. So we've placed an example of someone that's got R1 million debt. They've got a bond, R1 million bond, right? And typically when you engage in a bond, what do we all do? We go for the 20-year bond. Okay? No one buys the house cash. No one decides to get a smaller house and try to pay it off in 10 years. We go with the biggest house that we can afford, pay it over 20 years. So if you are in your 30s and you go get the bond, you're going to expect to become a homeowner when you're in your 50s, right? We all understand the bond. R1 million is probably going to be paying 11,500 rand a month for the next 20 years to pay that bond off. You join DuePoint after some success. After 6 months, you're earning 2,500 rand a month. You put the money into your debt. Remember our first aspiration. Get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. It is crippling you. Okay? So you put it in as an additional payment. It is going to reduce the term on the bond from 20 years down to 11.5 years. You're going to become a homeowner when you're 46 instead of 55. You've nearly halved the term of your bond with little 2,500 rand. Right? Do you know how much money this saves you in repayments? Take a guess. Any of our guests? Guess how much money this saves you in the long term? It saves you 100% of the value of that property asset. You have just saved yourself R1 million in cash, in payments that you don't have to make anymore. You can be the person that's now able to start putting money into an investment 10 years sooner than what you would have, right? Does it give you an appreciation of what debt is doing to you? You're paying back the bank 2.5 times the value of that property asset, and people will say to you, pay your house off when you can. It's a great investment. Just make sure you buy a house, don't rent. Is it a great investment? 2.5 times the value. 20 years later, it only becomes yours. How do you realize the value of that investment if you're still living in it? You'll have to move out of it and into a caravan and sell the house. Now it's a great investment. Right? We need to start thinking about money and debt differently. After 12 months, you're on nearly 9,000 rand a month. That's over 100,000 rand in recurring income that you've created for yourself annually. Anyone get a 100,000 rand bonus this year? No? No one? Usually I've got one person, but they're very shy to put up their hand because they know everyone else in the room's poor. We're going to go speak to them afterwards. You keep going. 24 months, nearly 30,000 rand a month. Right? Now we're starting to get serious. After 36 months, nearly 50,000 rand a month. At the 30-month mark, if you've got a 5 million rand bond that you're currently trying to pay off, you can put that 36, 37,000 rand into that bond. You'll pay that 5 million rand house off in less than 7 years. So work that out. You can pay off a house in 7 years. You can buy another house. If you've got 20 years till retirement, so if you're in your 40s like me, you can do this exercise 3 times over. 3 times over. By the time you're ready to retire, you own 3 houses worth 5 million rand each, and you own them. Now they're investments, right? Because you're living in one, you're renting out 2. Passive income, probably 60, 70,000 rand a month just from your property. You have to make the decision now to get to that position in 20 years' time. You keep going. After 48 months, you're probably close to 70,000 rand a month. And after a short 60 months, you've created for yourself about 1 million rand in recurring income annually. 1 million rand. Do you even believe that? That's hard to put yourself in that position, isn't it? You think, create 1 million rand in passive income, flexi-time job. Is it possible? I promise you it's possible. This, however, is all academic. This is based on an example that the accountants came up with, right? It's based on that 3+2 growth model. You've got to do 3+2 for 60 months to get into this position. Can you do that? We can't go to gym longer than January when we make that New Year's resolution. How are we going to stick to this for 60 months? You have to have a big enough reason why to commit to something for long term. And we've got wealth engineers that are doing it, right? So I know the system works. You can do more than the 3+2. You don't have to bring in only 2 people a month. You can do more than that. Mike and Vilna, they've doubled their income every 4 months. Is that possible in employment? Can you say to your boss every 4 months, give me a 100% increase, please? Impossible in employment, right? They're taking control over their income. Lydia, you can see when she joined, 20th of October. By December, she was earning 385 Rand a month. I'm sure in December she was probably wondering, is this business worth it? I don't know how much effort she was putting in those first few months. But look what she did between December and March. In the space of 3 months, she went to 5,500 Rand a month that she was earning as a return. How much money do you need to have in the bank to earn an income of 5,000 Rand a month? It was on the retirement slide. You needed to have 1 million Rand. 1 million Rand. Lydia's created 1 million Rand equivalent cash investment for herself in the space of 6 months. And that retirement slide said, save 800 Rand a month for 40 years. Can you see the difference? Rulof, he joined us right at the beginning, sitting on nearly 26,000 Rand a month. And these were figures drawn at the beginning of May. So that figure's big. It's a lot larger than it was then. You can do more than 3+2. My point is the accountability is with you in terms of how much time you're going to decide to commit to this business. No one else is going to make that decision for you. If you want to sit back and wait for the economy to change, or sit back and hope your boss is going to give you a raise, 7%, 8%, hopefully, just so that your salary can stay in line with inflation, what else can you hope for, right? If you don't do anything additionally to what you're doing now, your circumstance is not going to change. I look at myself. What were you doing 5 years ago? Probably the same thing you're doing today, right? The time just goes. It's not waiting for anyone. We have to have the strength to make a decision that changes our future. And we've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we pay every month. Hundreds of them. They were sitting in exactly the same seat as you. And these are not special individuals. We've got people that have got matric, people that don't have matric, people that have got corporate experience, people that don't have corporate experience, we've got people with degrees, people without degrees. It comes down to time and effort, persistency. That's what's required in this business. On top of the returns, we've got a rewards program. So, right, the returns is what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month. But on top of that, we've got an XP rewards program. So if you become a wealth engineer and you start engaging in normal wealth engineer behavior, so we've mapped out all the typical behavior we expect from wealth engineers. That's like logging into the website, coming to training, watching training, coming to presentations like this, bringing guests, all these kind of things. Typical wealth engineer behavior. When you do these things, we give you something called XP, experience points, right? It just signifies how active you are as a wealth engineer. And when you start collecting more and more XP and your business starts to grow, your channel of distribution starts to increase in size, we reward you, right? So if you join today, you become a wealth engineer this afternoon, you will start as a rank 0 wealth engineer, right? Because you've done nothing. You're still part of the 0+0 club. But very quickly, you can get to rank 1 in the rewards program, right? This has got nothing to do with the returns. The returns is what you pay every month. This is something entirely separate. Some people get confused. So you can get to rank 1 very quickly. In 24 hours, you need 1,000 XP, and you need 4 products in your qualified channel. Fairly straightforward to do. And we'll be paying you a return, but I'll also give you a 55 Rand reward to say, well done, you got to rank 1. Next, rank 2. And you see the rewards start getting bigger and better as you start to rank up in this rewards program, right? There's 50,000 Rand. We give away tools that make you more effective at increasing your channel of distribution. Little memory stick that plugs into everything. It's got our videos on there. You can show people what DuePoint is and about, regardless of what device. It plugs into everything, that little device. Tablets, phones, Android, banana, Apple, TVs, laptops, computers, everything. At rank 7, we give you, call them premium business cards. They're really luxury business cards. They cost us 12,500 Rand a set to get manufactured. There's no printing, there's no ink on that business card. That is gold. The edges are gilded in gold by some old man in Cape Town that we were lucky to find, because I thought we were going to have to send these cards overseas to get made. The logo is foiled in gold on the front. They're 4 times thicker than any other card. They're printed on a black suede paper. Because if you go speak to someone, especially a stranger, and you say to them, "Oh, there's a wonderful business opportunity, would you be interested?" There's a company called DuePoint. They've never heard of the company before. But you pull out a 12,500 Rand business card that looks like a little piece of gold, they will give you a little more time to explain what DuePoint's all about. Because your business card is 30 times more valuable than their business card. Who's got the upper hand in the conversation? Right? So these are tools to make you more effective. At rank 9, this is a wonderful reward. Everyone gets very excited about this because this is a recurring reward. All the other rewards are once-offs. When you get to rank 9, you get to enjoy this every single year going forward. It's 7 days with you and your family, all expenses paid trip to a luxury 5-star resort every single year. Every single year going forward. Business class flights. Every single year. Did I say every single year? Think about that. Think about the impact that has on your family when you know every year you're going to a 5-star resort, business class flights with your kids every single year. You don't have to worry about your bank balance. Are we going to the Vol Dam or Umhlanga Rocks this year? Right? That's the decision we make coming December. Where can we afford to go this year? So take a look. This is where we're going at the end of this year. And everyone in this room has got equal opportunity to getting to rank 9. If you can get to rank 1, you can get to rank 9.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
So that's rank 9. Rank 11, we buy a car cash and give it to you the wealth engineer. No T's and C's, no DuePoint stickers. The car's yours. No debit order at the end of the month. Right? Very serious about seeing our wealth engineers get to debt-free status. And that's just rank 11. That rewards program goes to rank 20. We've already planned up to rank 28. 28. We've had one individual who got to rank 9 in 5 months. Even surprised us. Okay. Another benefit is a wealth quest. This one's about to end because these are monthly quests. They're challenges that we issue to our wealth engineers to have a little bit of fun. It's got a reward attached to it every month. This month, for May, we challenged our wealth engineers to bring people under the age of 30 into their channel of distribution, which can be quite challenging, right? Because 20-somethings, they know more than all of us put together. So to convince them of anything is quite challenging. I personally get very excited when I see young people joining the business because I know they've got 20 years head start on me. And the reward for May was a big screen, smart LED TV. So if you could conquer this challenge, that was the reward. And on the 1st of June, so that's tomorrow morning, we will send out an email and an SMS to everybody, and on the website will be the new wealth quest for June, right? So it's just more benefit that our wealth engineers have. This slide basically just explains our business model so that you have some understanding of how we work. Traditional businesses, especially insurance companies, will spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising in traditional marketing channels, right? We get exposed to it constantly. DuePoint doesn't do any advertising. We don't do any advertising or marketing. You won't see a DuePoint logo outside of this building. Maybe if someone gives you a business card. But that's it, right? Because we depend on our wealth engineers to tell people. Referral marketing, word of mouth, to tell them what DuePoint's all about. So instead of spending the billions that the insurance industry in South Africa spends every month, we take that portion of our premium and we give it to our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards. Okay, so this basically sums that up. We've got 3 products. The products are very different, have got different benefits. So you're welcome to look at one product or all 3 products, right? It's up to you. The first product is an investment product. It's called Access Wealth. It's 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets placed into a tax-free investment fund in your name with Sanlam. And you've got full access to that. You can draw out those funds within 72 hours. It's not a fixed or notice deposit. On top of that, we give you a little bit of insurance with this investment product. We give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. Okay, very straightforward product, but this is our investment product. The second product is our insurance product. This is strictly insurance. It's 274 Rand a month, but this time we give you 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. And the beauty of the personal accident cover is that we don't profile you from a health point of view or a risk point of view. So you can be 80 years old, you can have cancer or be diabetic or whatever the case is, you can still take this product out, right? So it becomes accessible to everybody. Then the third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club. This product aims to save us money on the money we're spending every month anyway, right? So cost of living is taken into consideration here. It's 274 Rand a month, and you get to engage with the list of suppliers that we have there. And we've negotiated discounts for our Wealth Points members with each of those companies. So we know we spend a fortune on groceries every month. We've got ShopRite Checkers over there. You can go to ShopRite Checkers and get 2.5% off your entire trolley every time at ShopRite Checkers. We've got Eagle Ford. We've already sold 2 cars through Eagle Ford. They were signed on in February. We've got the Entertainer. It's got over 1 million Rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers at restaurants, hotels around the world, all kinds of things with the Entertainer. We've got a host of other retailers there, and we're adding new ones all the time. We're engaging with a company called Always On at the moment. We're about to finish that, so they're going to be added to the list of suppliers, where we've been able to get data for our wealth engineers at nearly 1/3 of the price. 1/3 of the price, right? So we're always adding new suppliers to this program. If you're looking at immediate benefit out of any of the products, this is probably the best product to take out of the 3. Okay, so those are the products. If you have any questions, come speak to me. I remind you of the support that you get here. Don't assume that when you become a wealth engineer, you can do this on your own and you know everything. Come rather engage with us. Like I said, everything that we do in this business is to support our wealth engineers. So we've got the live stream, allows you to spread your channel out to the rest of the country, because we're live streaming every event live every single day, except for Sundays. Right? So use that. Use the facilities. The facilities have been built for you guys. We even set time aside. You can set up a meeting with Brendan and myself. We will sit down with your team and engage with you and try to plan your success in this business. We're willing to do that for you. So press into the support. The decision slide. So what is the decision we're making today? I'm not going to go on about becoming financially free and debt-free and all of that. The people that are interested in this business, the decision I want you to make today is how is DuePoint going to fit into your schedule on a weekly basis? Because anyone can join this business. Very easy to join the business. What you want to do is be successful in the business once you've joined. And I'm telling you right now, you need to commit scheduled time for this business if you want to be successful in it. It's not going to work any other way. This is not a business you do just when you have spare time and free time and you feel like doing it. Right? We're not trying to lose weight or go to gym. Those are fickle goals. We're talking about your life here. We're talking about breaking out of a cycle that we've all been in for a very long time. And we know it's difficult to break out of. And this is the opportunity to risk a little bit. You're risking time and the tiny premium that we're asking for the product to potentially change your life and maybe even generations to come. I mean, imagine getting to rank 9. We've already got 4 families that have qualified for rank 9 this year. You can be one of them, right? And then the next is rank 11. You're driving around in a car that you don't even have to pay for. That's what's on offer here. But like I said, it's not simple. It's not easy. It requires this time, going through effort. It's frustrating. The business is frustrating. The most successful wealth engineers, they come crying in my office all the time saying this business is driving me mad. The people are driving me mad. I invite them, they don't come. I said, that's part of the business. Suck it up and keep moving on, right? The people that become successful are the ones that don't give up. They don't give up. Okay. So if you have any questions, come speak to me afterwards. Like I said, joining is very easy. You can jump onto our website, click on the apply button. We've got iPads out there for the people that don't have their own smartphones or tablets on them. The application takes 7 minutes. Once it's finished, you'll get sent a wealth engineer number, a unique wealth engineer number. It'll be SMS to you as well as emailed to you. You can start focusing on getting to rank 1 as quickly as possible. Right? You can start building value from today, this afternoon. We've got merchandise. Take a look at the merchandise. The pricing's on the reception table. All the merchandise is on display. Please consider getting business cards. This business relies heavily on first impressions, right? You need to look the part, look professional. Have a business card when you're proposing a business proposition to somebody. So look at the business cards. The USB stick's very convenient because we've got a lot of other videos on there. So if you don't want to use data or you don't want the person you're speaking to use data, give them the USB stick to take a look at the videos on there. So consider the merchandise. I remind you, we've got a YouTube channel. Every video we've produced is on YouTube. All the training, the interviews, the testimonies. You can go hear from the other wealth engineers that have been successful, how they've done it, what they feel, what their adventure's been like for them. We've got a mobile app. Once you become a wealth engineer, download the app, install it. You can run your business from the palm of your smartphone. It's as simple as that, right? That little app will tell you everything that's going on in live, real time about what's happening in your channel. And we're done, guys. I hope that wasn't too painful for you. Come speak to me afterwards if you have any questions. I look forward to seeing more of you. Thank you.